Hello everyone, welcome back to your channel, The Ultimate Audiobook. Today we will cover Megalithic and Iron Age. So let's begin. Iron Age in North India. The Iron Age in North India coincides with the painted greyware culture. The painted greyware is dated to from 1100 to 800 BC. More than 1,000 sites have been identified with painted greyware pottery in northern India, with a major concentration in the Ganga-Yamuna Valley. The painted greyware culture succeeded the black and redware culture in the eastern Ganga Valley and central India. The pottery was fine grey in color with painted geometric designs. The painted greyware laid the foundation of the early political formations. It correlates with the Kuru Panchal kingdom known from the Vedic texts. The painted greyware cultural phase is followed by northern black polished ware culture (NBPW), which is associated with the Mahajanpada and Mauryan periods. The painted greyware sites reveal the development of agriculture and pastoralism, and the settlements of this period grew in dimension. They show a large scale population increase in the northern part of India. The Iron Age in North India was coeval with painted greyware culture, and in South India it was associated with megalithic burial mounds. Megalithic or Iron Age in Tamil Nadu. The burial system followed by the people of Neolithic period continued into the megalithic period. A circular tomb using big stone slabs built upon the place of burial is known as a megalith. Such megaliths have been found in many parts of Tamil Nadu. The urn burial system was another type of practice and is evidenced in Adichannallur, present Thothukudi district. Black way is peculiar to burial sites in Tamil Nadu. Interestingly, black way is found mostly in burial mounds and not in human habitations. In a majority of urn burials, the use of stone is almost non existent. However, urn burials are grouped under megalithic because the materials, the pottery, iron objects, bits of semi precious stones kept in them, are identical to those found in the stone burials. The end of megalithic burial practice is assigned to 3rd 2nd centuries CE. During this period, Brahmi writing akin to Ashokan Brahmi has been discovered in Kodumanal, Erode district. There is also evidence of the megalithic tradition continuing into later centuries. During the Sangam period, people still remembered urn burials. The 4 primitive hero stones with Tamil Brahmi inscriptions datable to 3rd to 2nd centuries BCE, found in the upper part of the Vaigai Valley, support the authenticity of the hero stone tradition described in the Sangam Tamil literature in the context of cattle raids. Scholars infer, based on such evidence, that the sum of the Sangam poems could be assigned to the early 1st century BC or a little earlier. The tradition of erecting hero stones in memory of dead warrior heroes is considered to be an extension of the menhir type of megalithic tradition. Menhirs, upright monumental stones, and dolmens made of big slabs or boulders are megalithic tombs found in Tamil Nadu. Black and red ware, along with partial human remains and iron objects, were unearthed recently at Badamalkunda in Krishnagiri, Tamil Nadu. A few stone slabs were also found at the site. A centuries-old menhir at Singaripalayam, excavated near Kundadam in Tiruppur district, points to the existence of an ancient settlement along the banks of river Uppar. Megalithic sites in Tamil Nadu. Adichannallur. Adichannallur, 22 km from Tirunelveli, is located in Thothukudi district. In 1876, a German ethnologist and naturalist, Andrew Jaguar, conducted an excavation at Adichannallur. He carried with him samples of bagged earthenware, utensils of all sizes and shapes, a considerable number of iron weapons and implements, and great quantities of bones and skulls. These are now housed in a Berlin museum. The then district collector of Tirunelveli, A.J. Stewart, and the famous linguist Bishop Robert Caldwell visited Adichannallur subsequently. Found it, found it was a quartzite. Quarrying was immediately banned and archaeological excavation commenced under the supervision of Alexander Rie. Rie prepared a comprehensive account of his findings, illustrated by photographs, and was published in the Annual Report of the Archaeological Survey of India, 1902 to 1903. Nearly 100 years later, the ASI carried out another excavation and brought out more information. The report is awaited. The burial mound at Adichannallur yielded the following: urns and pottery of various kinds in large numbers, iron implements including spades and weapons, daggers, swords, spears, and arrows, some stone beads, and a few gold ornaments. Bronze objects representing the domestic animals such as buffalo, goat or sheep, and cock, and wild animals like tiger, antelope, and elephant. Traces of cloth and wood. The engraving of animals on bronze and on ornaments is indicative of the primitive workmanship. Caldwell could stumble upon a copper bangle during his inspection at the site. The people were evidently skillful in molding pottery, in casting or brassing metals, in weaving, and in working stone and wood. The presence of husks of rice and millet indicates domestication of these grains. Iron weapons were used for both war and for animal sacrifices. The discovery of sacrificial implements prompted Caldwell to conclude that the people of Adichannallur were not adherents of Vedic religion. Payampally. Payampally is a village in Tirupattur Taluk, Vellore district. The Archaeological Survey of India carried out an excavation in the 1960s and unearthed black and red ware pottery in this megalithic site. A large number of urn burials were also found in this region. The date of this culture, based on radiocarbon dating, is 1000 BCE. Kodumannal. Kodumannal, 40 km from Erur, is located on the northern bank of Noyal River, a tributary of the Kaveri. A series of excavations were carried out during the 1980s and 1990s. The most recent was in 2012. In habitation trenches and megalithic burials of Kodumannal, the goods unearthed included pots, weapons, tools, ornaments, and beads, particularly carnelian, akin to those found at Mohenjo-daro. Since carnelian was not known to this region in ancient times, it may have been brought to Kodumannal from outside. In the Sangam work, Pathidrupathu, a place called Kodumanam, belonging to the Chera king, is praised for gemstones, and therefore some archaeologists argue that Kodumanam is the ancient name of Kodumannal. Hoards of Roman coins have been discovered, and it is believed that this is a result of export of gemstones to the Roman world, resulting in return a huge inflow of gold from the latter into the region. Conches and bangles. Remnants of furnaces, a kiln floor filled with ash soot, and pot shards with Tamil Brahmi inscriptions are other finds in the site. Pit burials, urn burials, and chamber tombs of different types excavated at Kodumannal, and the names inscribed on pot shards may indicate habitation by multi ethnic groups. The graffiti etched on potsherds give a lot of information about the people and their activities. A menhir found at a burial site is assigned to the megalithic period. According to Y. Subbarayalu, Kodumannal is Koival the Sangam anthologies, 2nd century BCE to 2nd century CE. So everyone, we have come to an end of the session. I hope this audiobook will definitely help you. If you like the audiobook, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Ultimate Audiobook. I'll meet you with a new chapter. Till then, take care and bye bye everyone.